Hello, welcome back to Soul Light Reflections. I hope that you have enjoyed any other episodes that you have listened to up until now. And I just want to start out this episode by saying I am so grateful to be able to share on this longer form platform, as well as have people that resonate with this type of content and the insights that I share. And I always love hearing from you. If you could take a second right now on whatever platform you're listening to either leave a rating, a review, a comment about how this podcast has impacted you in a positive way, or maybe send me a quick Instagram message or an email. I absolutely would love to hear from you. Podcasting can feel really one-sided, like you're talking to yourself and you don't really know who's out there listening or resonating. And so it really does mean the world when, as a podcaster, you hear like real life experience of how this has impacted someone. Today's episode is a little bit different. My friend actually gave me this idea, and I thought that it would be fun to share things that my husband does that I will never take for granted. I feel like on this podcast, I have shared quite a bit about our journey as a couple, but I love him so much. And as I was going through and writing down all of the things that I appreciate that he does and that I appreciate about our relationship, I just was like practically in tears thinking about how much I fucking love him. I'm just like obsessed with him, and he's at work right now and I can't wait for him to come home. He has no idea that I'm recording this episode. And honestly, I feel like if you would have told me like 5 years ago that I would be recording an episode like this, I would be like, who is this man? Like, what do you mean? How is all of this actually possible within a partner? And I am here to record this episode in order to tell you and show you real life example of, yes, men like this do exist. Now, I will say, I always tell him to his face, you are not of this earth. You're actually an angel and we don't deserve you on this earth. But I'm very grateful for him, and I'm very grateful to be able to share this reflection with you. My goal for this episode is literally just for you to know that deep, soulful, beautiful, powerful, strong, supportive relationships like this do exist. Because like I said, many years ago, I would not have believed you if you told me that. Now, I've kind of broken down the things that I wanted to share on this episode into kind of like categories. So I broke it down into like daily care and acts of service, emotional support and safety, love and like affection and connection, supporting my growth and independence, fun and like shared joy, and then just kind of miscellaneous other things that really matter that I hope to never take for granted. So let's just jump into these. I want to start with the daily care and kind of like acts of service, things that I appreciate so much that he does. Starting with the fact that he always takes out the trash and the recycling. I never have to worry about it, and I'm so grateful for that. And mind you, sometimes I still do it if I'm just like there and I can, but I can literally just leave it and he will do it 100% of the time. And I'm so grateful for that. Same thing with the dishes. I could be like cooking all day meal prepping and there could be like a shit ton of dishes in the sink and he will just do them. No questions asked. Like, I'm so grateful that that has been a thing in our relationship. Like, for as long as I can remember, that I cook and he does the dishes. And a lot of times, mind you, I do some of them, or like I'll do the dishwasher stuff and leave the hand wash stuff for him. Or at the very least, I'll like rinse everything I put in the sink. I'm not like just throwing a million bajillion things in there and like have fun. But yeah, I do super appreciate that he always does that. No questions asked. And I mentioned that I always cook and he always does the dishes, but there are times when I just don't have the energy to cook or I just didn't feel like it or something. If that happens and I'm like, hey, will you grab Chipotle for dinner or whatever? He's like, yeah, done. Or if he gets home and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't cook anything. I know you're probably starving after like a long evening at work. And he's like, no problem. Like, don't worry about it. Don't apologize. Like, I got it. And kind of going along with that, when I maybe like wake up in the morning, for instance, and he's making himself breakfast, he always asks me like, do you want something? Are you hungry? And I just really appreciate that. It seems little, but it's actually a really big thing to me. He always refills my water bottle. He makes sure that if he's filling his, that I have enough water in mine as well. But also, let's say, I don't know, I'm like sitting on the couch and I need more water, and he literally just sat down. I'm like, can you get me more water? He just gets up and does it. And again, that sounds so silly, but it's huge to me that he just sat down and he will go do that for me. He also always takes our dog out and like feeds her every morning without me asking. If I, especially during pregnancy, if I like don't have the energy to walk her or something, he will absolutely just go do it. He is always the one that drives. I'm actually a pretty good driver, but I don't like driving. And so I just really appreciate that it's just always assumed that he's going to drive. And anytime I'm like, I'll drive, he's like, oh, okay. It's like a little treat for him. He reminds me to eat and drink water because just like a lot of other girly pops out there, sometimes we get like too stressed or whatever. And we just like forget to eat sometimes, or we forget to drink water. And so anytime I'm like, I have a headache or something like that, first question, have you eaten recently? Have you drank water? Okay, let me make you something. Whenever I'm like doing chores around the house, let's say I'm like, I don't know, cleaning the bathrooms or something, he immediately asks like, what can I do to help? What else can I do? Or anytime that I'm like, hey, can you start a load of laundry? Done. Hey, can you vacuum? Done. Another thing that I appreciate is that he low-key likes vacuuming, which I really don't. And so that's pretty dope. And finally, another act of service that is so convenient. My man's is 6'6". Okay. So it is so nice to have him reach things in high places so that I don't have to like awkwardly stand on tall chairs. Honestly, I'm just like such an independent person, and I'm so used to being so independent that sometimes I still do. And he's like, I can get that for you. And I'm like, oh yeah. Okay, moving on to emotional support and like safety. Rubbing my head and my shoulders whenever I ask. That is like such a love language to me. Physical touch, I am such a touch person, especially like firm touch. So I love a nice head rub or shoulder rub. That just like makes me feel so safe, so calm. Anytime that I'm feeling really stressed or overwhelmed, he like immediately pulls me in for a hug. Even if it's like a stressful conversation that we are having together, he will pull me in for a hug and just like have that moment together. Another component of that is a lot of times he'll take a really deep breath, which will prompt me to take a really deep breath. And then we sync up our deep breaths together. And that is so freaking regulating. If I ever say that I need to talk, he immediately puts everything else aside and he's like, yep, I'm here. And I just appreciate that so much. It could be something between us, it could be something just in life. Doesn't matter. He puts it aside. He's like, I'm here. I'm listening. He is the absolute best listener. I actually asked him the other day, if someone was like interviewing you and they asked you what your favorite quality about yourself would be, what would it be? And that was what he said about himself, is that he knows that he's a really good listener. He's really good at holding space for people. And I completely agree with that. Kind of going along the lines of like, when I am in more of like a stressed or overwhelmed place, he always is so good at reminding me like, we got this. Like, it's you and me. Nothing else matters. We always make it through. Like, we fucking got this, dog. And I just love that so much. He really has this like quiet confidence about him when he says that, and he really genuinely means it. And it's true because we always make it through all of the tough times. He also tells me literally everything. Like sometimes I'm like, I didn't really need to know that, but thank you. And honestly, vice versa. Like I tell him everything as well. And I don't know, it's like kind of fun, like down to like when he has like a funny group text with his friends and he thinks that like I'll get a kick out of something that was said, like he'll share that with me. And I don't know, I just love that. Along those same lines, I love that our close friends know that if you're voice memoing me or you're FaceTiming me or you're like Snapchatting me or whatever, he's probably going to be in on the conversation. And I love that our friends know that and love that. There's times when people will, video message or voice memo and they'll be like, hi, Rachel and Max, and then go on with whatever they were going to say. I just love that he has that personality and everyone just loves him and like wants him to be around, and it's not weird. He tells me that he loves me every single night and every single day, and I just appreciate that so much. We're always telling each other we love the other person. He just by literally existing makes me feel so secure and protected and safe and loved. And I think that is the biggest thing that I will never take for granted. I always tell him that it feels like he's my protector, and I love that he loves that role. During this pregnancy journey, he has continued to show up and to support me in ways that like I could have never even voiced that I needed. Like he just knows the right things to do and the right things to say when I have been in like my most distraught moments. He does not ever doubt my intuition. Now this one took a little bit of work cuz he used to accidentally, I would say, doubt my intuition, and then I'd be like, I told you so. Like, I told you I couldn't explain this feeling, but we should have listened to it. And now he knows, like, if I'm saying something and I'm saying, like, I don't know, I just have this feeling, he's like, we're going with that. Like, I trust it. And it does work out 100% of the time when we do that, thankfully. He also supports us financially, big time, and never complains about it. Anytime that I start to get down on myself and I'm like, oh my God, I should be making more money, or like if somehow I lost out on money or something like that, he's always like, hey, you're building something and it's going to take time. And I'm really proud of what you're doing. And like literally never makes me feel bad. Even if we're not in a good financial spot, he does not let that get to him or show it outwardly. He really just makes me feel so supported and seen in that way. Moving on to supporting my own growth and independence, I feel like that was a really good segue. He is always telling me just how proud of me he is. And even when I don't feel like I deserve it, even when I'm like, I didn't really do a lot today, he's like, what? You did this, you did that. He just pumps me up like every single day and makes me feel like, no, you're literally working towards something. You're building something huge. Any like business idea or offering I have, he always hears me out. He always supports it. He's always like hyping me up online, especially on social media, like resharing my content, whether it's about a new podcast episode or a retreat or anything in between. He encourages me to just dance it out when I'm feeling stressed, which honestly sounds so silly, but it's huge. Because even though I have been a dancer my whole life and like music and dance and movement are really important to me, I'm human. And when I get stressed, sometimes I forget that that is such a useful tool. So I really appreciate that he reminds me of that. He full on encourages me to do my own thing and again, trust my intuition. A very clear example is I went to a retreat in Costa Rica in April last year, and he encouraged me to stay there for literally a month. I was gone for a full month, and he was like, heck yeah, like if it's feeling aligned, stay there. Like, why not? And he does not get jealous, like at all, ever. He actually has voiced many, many times that when someone like hits on me or something like that, he sees it as a very flattering thing. And he's like, hell yeah, like my girl hot, right? I will say there was one time that kind of got him in trouble. Yeah, he went a little far with that. I'm going to just share this side quest story because it's actually kind of funny. But we were at this like Brazilian night event at a bar. We went to support a friend that was like on a date. He really wanted us to come. So we're like, okay. And so we went and we were like not fully feeling it, to be honest, but we're like, whatever, we're here to support him. It is what it is. So he went to the bar with his friend to grab drinks for me and like a couple other girls. And so I'm just like there dancing. And there's this guy that came up to me and he's like really trying to like dance with me. And at first he tried to speak Portuguese to me. So I guess I look Brazilian, but I was like, sorry, I don't speak Portuguese. And he's like, oh. And he was like, do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, yeah, he's over there. And I point at the bar and Max is like looking at me. And so he waves. And so the guy keeps trying to dance with me, like does not give a fuck that I have a boyfriend over there. Right. So Max comes over and he brings me a drink. And the guy says to him like, oh, this your girlfriend? And he's like, no, this is my sister. And then kisses me on the lips, thinking like, oh, haha, that's funny. Like, obviously it's not my sister. I just like kissed her on the lips, whatever. And then Max walks back to the bar after that because he had to carry over a couple more drinks. And so as he's walking over, the guy is still trying to talk to me and like dance with me, like really close, like too close for comfort. And I'm like looking at Max like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the fuck? Like, get over here. And I'm trying to like get away from this guy. And he just is like way too close. I'm just like, dude, no. And finally, Max eventually comes over and like grabs me and starts like dancing more with me or whatever. And I'm like, took you long enough? Like, what the heck? And he was like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. He's like, I had eyes. It's fine. Like, I had my eyes on you. I knew what was going on. And he literally thought it was the funniest thing that he goes, no, it's my sister. And then lays one on me. And this guy still didn't get the hint. But that is a perfect example of just how unbothered he is. I got to pop into the middle of this episode to remind you about the amazing sale that we have going on for Lucid Hydration. LucidHydration.com, that is my husband and my business. Clean electrolytes, functional mushrooms, nootropic herbs, and we are trying to sell out of the product that we have currently so that we're not sitting on a bunch of stock as we take a little hiatus to welcome our baby girl into the world. Head to our website, LucidHydration.com. You get an automatic 30% off every order. And I just announced my next holistic wellness retreat happening in Sedona, Arizona, September 3rd to the 7th. I have a few early bird spots available. I would love to set up a discovery call with you to see if this is a good fit for you. We are going deeper than ever on this particular retreat, and I cannot wait. So make sure that you grab that early bird spot, only $222 down to reserve that spot, and then payment plans available from there. All right, back to our topic. So moving on from there, I feel like another perfect segue into like love, affection, connection. He kisses me every morning and every time that he comes home, and I just appreciate that so much. He gets me little sweet treats here and there, but doesn't overdo it, which I appreciate. Like, I don't need a sweet treat every day, just like once in a while. Like the other day he came home with Thin Mint cookies, like Girl Scout cookies. It was the last day, I guess they were selling them, and he's like, okay, fine, I'll cave. He buys me flowers just because. And again, personally, like, I don't need flowers like every single week from him or anything. I don't ever want to like take these things for granted. So to me personally, it means a little bit more when it's like not just because of a habit or routine or a Hallmark holiday. It's like, oh, he's doing it because he literally like thought of me. Or, he might be at the grocery store getting a couple things that I asked him to pick up, and he might grab like a kombucha or something. And I feel like those little gestures mean so much more to me than like, oh, you got me a card because it's Valentine's Day or something. He also calls me just during the day just to like check in or say hi a lot of times, even if he's only away from home for like a couple hours at work or whatever. I just love that. I think it's so cute. Or he like might call if he had like one little question instead of texting, he'll just call. He also doesn't necessarily love this, but he always willingly watches like silly reality shows or like rom-com movies with me. And to me, I'm like, I just want to watch this right now. And it means a lot to me that he's not like, okay, I'll be in the other room, like doing something else. Like, yeah, he might be on his phone for like a little bit of it, but he will sit there with me, maybe give me a shoulder rub even while I'm watching this thing. Moving on to like fun and play and like joy. He is always down to do basically anything I want to do with me. Even if it's like, hey, I want to like go shopping right now. He's like, all right, where are we going? He is super easygoing when it comes to like switching up plans. If I'm like, I actually don't want to do that anymore, I want to do this. He's like, all right. He sends me like songs or music or videos that remind him of me, or that he knows that like I'll vibe with, or something he's excited about. And I just love that because it's just like, he's thinking of me, I feel like everyone knows this about us, but he loves going to music festivals and shows together, or just even like dancing or mixing or DJing at home. He taught me how to DJ, which I will never take for granted and so appreciate, because now we get to do it together and it's like one of our favorite things ever. He also encourages me to work out with him and go on walks together, which of course is so much fun and just like keeps us active and healthy. And he always makes me delicious lattes at home whenever I ask. And I'm so glad that I taught him how to use our espresso machine, because I swear he makes better coffees than me now. And then finally, like the other little things that really matter to me, he encourages me to floss my teeth every night. If you know Max, oral hygiene is very important to him. He actually like water picks and flosses and brushes every night. I can't with the water pick. I don't know. But he does encourage me to floss every night, even though I only listen to him sometimes. I hope my dentist doesn't come for me. he always takes my opinion into account when he's like really making any decision, which I really appreciate. It is very, 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 very rare that he's like, oh, hey, by the way, like, I'm going to do this thing. Like, he is always asking, what do you think about this? And genuinely taking my feelings into account. He doesn't make me feel bad when I have like unhealthy or guilty pleasure cravings. And then a lot of times he'll even join in, which I really appreciate because sometimes a girl just like needs her Oreos, no matter how crunchy you are. And then finally, one of my favorite things is that every night we ask each other four things: our favorite part of the day, what we learned that day, what we're grateful for, and then what we appreciate about the other person. Like, could be from that day, could be in general. And we do it every night, and he never misses a day. Like, to the point where there have been times that I've been like about to fall asleep. So like there's no way I'm about to like start talking because I'll like wake myself back up. And I've heard him like quietly whispering like going through his list and like whispering it near my ear. And I'm just like, oh my God, my heart. Like, when I am in a place where I'm like not going to speak because I'm going to wake myself up, but I still get to hear something that he's grateful for and something he appreciates about me, oh, it just like literally melts my heart. There are literally so many other things that I could list, but these were like literally just top of my head, just like jotting things down. Another thing that I truly appreciate so much is that we always talk through things right then and there. If there is an issue, like we are talking about it, we're getting through it, and we are not going to bed angry. We are rarely in an argument for more than like 5 minutes. And arguments do not happen often at all, even 4.5 years in, even with a hormonal wife like me. I just appreciate that so much. And it's not like he's, just this complacent yes man. It's not like that at all, because then it would be like understandable that there was never arguments. It's that we both take the time and space to come at things from a mature scope of, let me understand where you're coming from. Let me gather the facts. Let me understand your feelings. And let me also share how I am feeling and know that you are going to approach that with love and respect. And let's work through this together. And once again, like I said, remembering like we are in this together. We are on the same team. We will get through this. So I feel like that is like the biggest thing that I appreciate more than anything. Maybe like at the same level of just how much fucking fun we have all the time. Now I'm just like thinking of more things. But I guess another thing that I so appreciate is he not only like tolerates, but he appreciates my like antics and like the weird random shit that I'll say or do, and never gets annoyed at it. Like, I've had ex-partners that will just be like, what are you doing? Or like judge me for doing certain things, or maybe even like taking certain videos or posting certain things online. And he does not ever judge me, like whatsoever, not even like an inkling of judgment. It's always just like, I don't know. He just supports literally everything. And most of the time he'll join right in. And kind of along those same lines, if I have like an idea for like a funny video or something that I want to take, like he's in, like he's there. I can do like funny prank videos on him and he doesn't realize what's happening. And then he realizes at the end and he's like, oh shit, you got me good, And there really is just like such a contrast in all of these things and more that I could keep going with, compared to past relationships where a lot of these things were pretty opposite. And I just thought that was normal. I didn't really see like an issue with it at the time. And then once I was on the other side, I was like, wait a second, no. And the interesting thing is, I don't know if I've shared this on this podcast before. There was a page in a journal from when I lived in Portland. And I think this was like when I had first moved to Portland. I wrote down a list of all of the things I wanted to manifest in like the perfect partner, a man for me. And about a year into my relationship with Max, I found this list in an old journal and I was like, oh my God, he literally fits every single one of those things and more. Like I said, he is an angel on this earth. He is not of this earth in the best way. And it just reminded me, like, you can literally manifest fucking anything on this earth. And I'm so grateful that he came into my life and that we found each other. And we both feel so intensely like our souls have never journeyed a lifetime on earth apart. Like, we always find each other in every single version of every lifetime. which is just so special. And I think that that's why like our relationship is so fucking rock solid and beautiful, is because of that deeper soul connection and just the intentionality that we have approached our relationship with, and will continue to approach our lives with, especially with a child coming literally any day now. Okay, I think I've done enough rambling about my incredible husband. And like I said, my true hope for this episode is to show you like this shit does exist. Yeah, I'm just so fucking grateful for this relationship because I've never been in a healthy relationship like this prior to this. It's something so different and so fucking sacred and special. And I fully believe that I would not have the relationship that I have with Max if I hadn't have gone through the ringer prior to this, because my past relationships showed me both how I do not want to show up as a partner and how I want to show up as a partner. And it also showed me how I want my partner to show up for me and what like red flags to look out for and how a healthy relationship can truly look. And like I said, my intention with sharing this episode was not to like brag or anything like that. I want you to know that it is possible. Want you to know that it does exist, that humans like this, partners like this do exist, because this is something that I probably would have loved to hear years ago. And just know that you can literally manifest this for yourself. But I firmly believe that it starts with you. You have to do the internal work first. Max and I say this all the time. If we would have met like 5 years prior to when we met, there's no way it would have lasted. We were very different people. We didn't know how to be good partners. And we needed our past relationships to be able to evolve and to grow and to recognize what was important to us, the values of ourselves, the values in a relationship, how we want to show up, and who we actually are deep within. If I was not so rock solid on who I am deep within, this relationship would not be where it is today. And the other little piece of wisdom that I want to share with you is that your person will come when you are not looking. Neither Max or I were looking for a partner when we found each other, and we actually were pretty scared to get in a relationship because neither of us wanted to get hurt again. If you want to like know more about that, we actually recorded an episode all about how we met, so go back and find that. I think it's like episode 20 something maybe. I might be wrong. But anyway, search through, you'll find it. It's not too far back. So I hope, if anything, this gives you some little glimmer of hope, if this is something that you are hoping to manifest into your life. And if you have something like this in your life, I am so fucking happy for you. All right, my friend, as always, keep shining, keep aligning, and we'll talk on the next episode.